So we started by removing a mix of objects just to clear some space and figure out how we would move things around. Some of the larger objects, like the grass tunnel, we intended to put back, whereas others, like the fall-themed mushroom hideaway, we intended to replace with the snowy winter-themed hideaway, which is actually bigger and probably therefore more suitable to our Syrian hamster. We also removed some chew toys that our hamster really hadn't been using. And I did not have dowels to secure the winter hideaway, and because I was just a little concerned about whether it might tip, I did add some adhesive to the back of it to keep it against the back wall, and then I just monitored it, and it turned out that it was very stable. We removed certain things like the red millet that was in there that Cinnamon had not really touched. And Cece does like to sprinkle around different herbs or textures. We also added some new dairy-dyed chews and some wicker balls for chew toys. In addition to the variety of wood chews that we had, we also had received a little hay wreath from Happy Hamstery from our advent calendar, so we added that. And then we tried to get creative with a variety of bendy bridges that we've had, thinking about how to use them to create little sections in the enclosure that we could add different bedding to or a different substrate. So here, since we had moved an old hideaway that Cinnamon didn't really use, we decided to use our bendy bridges to create a little corridor that we could add white bedding to in order to create sort of a little snowy look for a winter theme. And then we also took our new corn cob bedding and put most of it, except for what you saw sprinkled there, into a little box so he could have a little dig box of different bedding, of different substrate that is. We did put our grass tunnel back in. We also have the cork log. He really likes to walk through those. It makes him feel safe to have that coverage, and he can climb over them as well. And then we tried what we saw another YouTuber do, which was to take a walnut and put it inside of a little rattan twig chew toy. We also have a hanging chew that we'd received from Send Hamster Mail that we decided to hang up. And then here you can see we used the dye-free white bedding to create a cute snowy look, added a piece of apple bark chew and the walnut-filled rattan ball to the corn cob substrate dig box. And then here I just cleaned off the top of his Night Angel 6-chamber hideaway. So I removed everything temporarily so I could give a nice wipe down to that lid before replacing it. Put in an extra little snowflake wood chew toy. And his dig box is currently filled with lots of nice herbs and flowers, but those had sort of built up over time. He'd already had a chance to forage through them. So we decided to give him a nice fresh dig box with some new coconut substrate. He does not use the bathroom in his coconut dig box, so we don't really need to clean out all of the substrate, all of the bedding, but I just cleared the top layer to give it a little bit of a freshen up. And we did try a new coconut substrate that we hadn't used before, a new coconut fiber substrate, and this one was a bit softer than what we had used in the past. He did seem to really like it when we first went in there. Then we added a few extra new chew toys that he had. Kind of strategically placed some of our other chew toys. I'd be curious to hear in the comment what chew toys your hamsters or other small pets like. Our Syrian is very choosy. He sort of nibbles at a number of chew toys, but ignores a good number of them, although he does love a whimsy. You might be able to spot a little alligator whimsy in this photo, or in this video. And then we added a new puzzle box that we put some food in. He very much likes his food puzzle box where he can push the little slide doors out of the way, but we hadn't tried one where he could push the doors up. This one is his favorite. So he put some of his food back in the places that he expects it. And one thing to keep in mind is that you don't want to completely make over a hamster's cage. Too much change can really stress them out. So what we tried to do with our seasonal makeover is keep a number of things the same, such as his sand bath, his coconut dig box, where his food is, his wheel, where his water will go, and where one of his play hideaways is. We would never move where he has his regular hideaway. But we did move out a hideaway that wasn't getting used. We took one of his old ones and moved it to a different part of his cage. We added fresh sprays, which of course you can do anytime. And then I took this flower and herb bedding that we found on Amazon and we have used before and spread a little bit of fresh flower and herb mix in a different section of his cage. So throughout his enclosure, he has different hamster safe substrates. I also added this Lukovsky moss that I also found on Amazon. He has a number of different textures, a number of different places that he can forage to keep him stimulated and encourage natural behaviors. And here you can see Cinnamon checking out his new hideaway for the first time, looking at some of these new chews, fresh bedding, exploring his corn cob substrate. He was quite interested in the corn cob substrate, which we had never used before, but was gifted to us from Paige and Pets of Luna Pepper & Co. as well. And as you can see, he really did love that walnut-filled rattan ball, although eventually he did decide to ignore it and not make further efforts. And here he is checking out some of his new chews in the coconut fiber substrate, finding a few little seeds sprinkled there. It's nice to sprinkle some food and not just keep it all in a bowl so that they can have their natural foraging behavior. And here he's doing that as well with his flaxseed sprays. There are many different sprays you can get that are safe for small pets, and your small pet will have its own preference. Cinnamon loves flax. Let me know in the comment what your hamster or small pet's favorite sprays or other types of chews are. Hit like, subscribe, and let us know what you want to see next.